Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Brie, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area, 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Small hollow in North Carolina. There have been several Bigfoot sightings.
Hunters may need to be on the lookout for something other than deer when they hit the woods this week.
He hadn't been spotted recently, but according to these pictures, the legendary Mothman is back.
The number of UFO sightings is soaring tenfold over the past 25 years.
Now, she's not talking about people. She is talking about ghosts hanging around what some say is a real-life haunted house.
You're listening to Paratalkradio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on Paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family. Paratalkradio is your one-stop for all things paranormal, the unknown, and the supernatural. Join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central for discussions and guests on topics such as ghosts, hauntings, Bigfoot, UFOs, and more. This broadcast is rated M for mature and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, live from J-Wolf Production Studio in Ontario, New York, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Hi, everybody! I know, that was a little silly. Cindy is wrapped up right now. She's a little tied up, I should say. So, hello, Christopher. Hello, Timothy. How is everybody doing this evening? She's finally back wearing her little beanie. There she is.
There she is. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. I have to put my things in my ear holes, because otherwise I will
echo. Yep, definitely.
Oh, I love it. Look how fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what does that little white pumpkin say? I could see Pocus. Does it say Hocus Pocus?
Yep, it says Hocus Pocus.
I love it. Listen, I'm chilly, so that's why I refuse to turn my heat on yet. So,
really?
I'm wearing my little hat.
Really? Well, that's cool, because you're chilly. I get it.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I have got a really cool special show lined up for us tonight, Cindy.
I can't wait.
I am so excited about this. We're gonna.
Look.
Oh, look at that!
Their little braids.
You know, that reminds me of is like, remember Peppy Longstockings?
Yes,
remember
Peppy Longstockings.
All right, so you guys, we've got a special guest here. She's sitting in the back room right now, in backstage. Nice. And we are going to be talking with an author who has got some really cool ideas and thoughts and just I'm not even going to explain. We're just going to bring her on and we're going to talk because this is really cool. So, okay, are you excited? Are you excited, Cindy?
I'm
are you excited?
Super excited.
Okay, so everybody,
this is right up my alley.
I know. That's why when we kind of messaged back and forth on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh my God, Cindy's going to love her. So this is like the second interview that I've gotten for you lately.
Yes,
you know.
I
So
know.
this is going to be another one right up your alley. Hello, Barry.
Yes.
So, okay,
Hi,
so
Barry.
Without further ado, please welcome to So, welcome Miss Lynn Russell to the show.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even tell you.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, this is going to be fun. So, she actually, what'd you say, Cindy?
I was just saying, can I say hi to everybody in the
Oh yeah,
chat?
go ahead and do that quick, and then we'll get right into it.
Okay, sounds good. Hi, Christopher. Hi, Timothy. Joe Schmo is a schmuck. Hi, Kyle. Going hunting. Oh, I can't. It won't let me do it. So going hunting up in the Allagash.
Where's the Allagash? This November. Where's Kyle, where is Allagash? I think I've heard of it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Okay,
Christopher says, what's going on, Teddy? Hi, Christopher. He says,
hi,
Cindy.
I'm kind of being the festive guy. I got the little pumpkin going. This is Paratalk Radio. I got my little things over there, so it looks all nice and festive.
I love it. Yes,
so,
you do look super cute and festive.
Okay, so
I don't have mine up yet.
No. You know, it's only a week and a half away.
I
know. Kyle says it's up in Maine. That's pretty cool. Okay, so
nice.
let me get to this real quick because we don't want to keep Lynn waiting. So, Lynn sent me this. She says Lynn has over 65 years of studying various religions and spiritual philosophies. She researched near-death experiences for Dr. Jeffrey Long of NDEs. After studying 2,500 cases, wow, that's a lot. Lynn became fascinated with the profounding underlying spiritual knowledge brought back. The second edition of her book, The Wonder of You, what the near-death experience tells you about yourself is about the knowledge and your reality. Her interest in science has helped to add profound understanding of the link between science and spirituality. So this is cool. So this is awesome. So, all right. So
I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. First thing first, because I haven't heard of it. What is NDEs?
Right.
It stands for Near Death Experience Research Foundation.
Wow, cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love it.
Cool. Okay, so
can I start asking questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Lynn, if you took all of your research and you had I'd say your top takeaway, but you could even say your top 3 takeaways. What have you learned overall when you have researched near-death experiences?
I think the top takeaway is the connection we have to all of life and all of each other, and to the universe. That's the big one.
We are one, right, Lynn? We are one.
Yes.
I try to tell people that, and it's one of my things that I believe heavily on. So I think that's amazing that your research has basically said the same thing and come up with the same thing, that we're all connected, that we are all one.
And the other things are that we take an active role in creating the existence that we have, including this life and the afterlife. And
yes, I agree.
You like that one too?
I do.
That's good. And the third thing is that our thoughts dictate the direction of our lives.
Listen, Lynn, you have just put the top 3 things I would say that I teach and try to express to everybody what Spirit has conveyed to me. So you've backed up everything that I have been told by Spirit as well.
Wow, see,
That's pretty amazing.
That's awesome that I got another really good guest for Psychic Cindy. She's happy.
I'm so excited. Listen.
Well, because Lynn and I were talking back and forth, and she wasn't sure she would fit. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
You always fit with me, girl.
This is perfect. This is perfect.
Yeah.
So, my thing is how did you get involved with this, if you don't mind me asking? What started it all?
Yeah, not at all. I hope my voice is not too scratchy for everybody.
Did you get something to drink? Do you have something to drink? Do you have something right there to drink? There you go. She probably got hot tea.
Well, now, how did I get into it? I forgot.
Yes.
Okay, I got into it through my fear of death. I found out about 8 or 9 that I was going to die. Not then, but someday.
Right.
That terrified me. And I was raised in an atheist family. And so when I asked my mom what happens when you die, she said you just disappear.
Oh my gosh.
So I didn't want to disappear. I was terrified of disappearing.
That's scary.
That is a scary thought. My gosh.
Poof, you're gone. What the hell?
That's your 9-year-old. That's true.
Yeah.
So then around that time, I started to get interested in churches and going to church. But basically, in my mid-teens, I started in earnest studying all kinds of religions and all the spirituality that's happening in the world.
Right.
And then that just going and going. I still, if I run across a religion or a thought process philosophy that I don't understand, I'm right on it. I want to know more.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Now, see, and that's where I would have went too. Is I would have went right to the faiths, right to the religions, and started, because I remember when I was a kid. I'm going to throw this story out there real quick. I had a huge fear of dying. I mean, I remember just cuddling up in my bed and just, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And it's like, I must have been 9 or 10 years old. And it's like, why am I thinking about this? You know? So I did my own research, so.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
My youngest Jet was terrified. He would have such fear and anxiety, and it would come up especially at nighttime where he couldn't sleep. And he'd be like, Mom, I don't want you to die. His fear and anxiety was regarding my death.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is kind of scary.
I think it was scary. Naturally, it's instinctual not to want to die.
Right.
Right.
No life form wants to die, even an amoeba. It's just instinct.
Right. Right.
And there's so many different outlets with faith and spirituality. Everybody has a different spin on it, as in where you go. Or I know I studied theology, so there's a lot of different things in there, and it not even just man-made religions like Christianity or Catholicism or anything like that. Even other religions from across the pond have very similar things, or totally opposite in some cases. But what's really similar, though, is they all have this big thing for life, and that's why they always bring back, hey, there's life after death. Don't think that death is the final thing, because it's not.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. I think that Buddhism is the only one that I've come across that doesn't talk about death.
Yeah. Yeah. Buddhism, yeah.
Wait, they don't talk about death? Is
Yeah,
that what you said?
they don't. They don't really talk about death that much at all.
I think they call it more like transitioning or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, that's the culture. You know what I mean? That's,
Right.
So that's cool. And Native Americans, so they had their own way of dealing with death. Egyptians, I mean, look at how much we learned from the Egyptians as in death.
Right.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
They had so much knowledge.
Listen, is your soul the weight of a feather?
Yes. That's right. That's right. I think a quarter of an ounce is what I've heard. Is that
What's
right?
that?
That the soul is about a quarter of an ounce. I think that's what.
I think it's right. I think
it's around there.
0.6 ounces when people like weigh somebody. They weigh them before and then they weigh them after, and it's about 0.6 ounces.
Yeah. That I think we talked with somebody about that before. I think.
Yeah, Kubler-Ross was the first person that did that, but it's been done several times since.
Yes. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorites. I have her books in there.
It's just amazing that the way we've came with technology that we're able to do that now and get more answers than the way it used to be. I mean, it's not all based on spirituality and what our faith or belief is. It's also based on science now. We have things that are backing that up, and that is just a phenomenal thing for us. It gives us, the biggest thing is, I think, with us as humans, we're always looking to sustain our life to be, so it can go longer, because way back in the day, people died at 30, 40 years old, 40, 50,
Right.
Now, now it's not uncommon for somebody to live to 100. It's happening.
And it's expanding because there's a lot of work being done on gerontology and how to get us to live.
Right, and that's just awesome.
Absolutely. But think about it this way. Back in the day, people lived much longer than they do now. And that was one of the things is that has been surmised through the ages is the age of people and how they lived for more than 100 years easily. And how they have, because of things spiritually, their lives have been shortened.
Yeah.
And now we're getting back to the opposite way where we are getting older as well.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing with diseases and stuff back then, with not having, a way to antidotes or what do they call? I freaking drawing a blank here. Shots and all that other stuff that we have today. I mean, that's all extended our life. But I want to go to...
Well, but the thing is a lot of those drugs and everything else have been actually come from natural things that they have
plants. Oh, yeah.
Yes, so they've taken these medicines and they've started them off from the original natural resource, and then they have done their microbiology work with them. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they're using... I just saw a study not too long ago where they're using some of the acids in a gator's stomach that actually kills a lot of different bacteria. And they're using some of that acid to put into weight loss and stuff like that because it does get rid of certain bacteria.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
But that's crazy because alligators have the largest, or I should say, the strongest stomach acid than any other creature on the face of the planet. They're able to. That's why they're able to eat a lot of dead carcasses and stuff like that, disease things, because that acid actually kills everything. Yes. So, but they're using stuff out of snakes. All different types of animals. They're using everything, and then the herbs and the trees and the, everything else that we have out there. And that's why I love doing, with my herbs. I love doing my herbs, because there's a lot of things in there that's all natural that you can't. I'm not going to brag. Well, maybe just a little. I make a great. Just a little. A great peppermint spearmint catnip tea for when you want to relax to go to sleep. I make a great tea.
Sounds delicious.
The catnip helps. It's awesome. The whole thing is awesome. But yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and a little black raspberry leaves in there helps as well on some of those sleepy times of relaxation. But you have to be careful.
Yeah.
But okay, so you worked with a doctor, basically. You worked for him?
No, kind of.
Or alongside of him?
Well, what happened was that I was researching a book that I wanted to write. And in the book, I had this woman doing out-of-body and astral projection. And so I wanted to research to find out if my character in the book could actually do that kind of stuff. I had no idea. So anyway, I went online and wound up with NDEs, which at that time, I'm not sure about today, but at that time had an element of the OBE, out-of-body experiences. So that's why I got started.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's the way it happens sometimes, is the fear. I mean, if you can turn that around instead of like that fear eating you up, and turn it around to like research, getting into it to figure out why you have this fear, it could bring you to some really interesting facts.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you did. I mean, you took it to a new direction.
I took it by the bullhorns.
That's right.
I'm going to be the boss around here. So then, while I was on there, I got sort of hooked into their chat line because I loved what I was hearing.
That was my thing coming down on me. It's funny. There we go.
And so while I was on the chat line, Dr. Long asked if someone would like to do some volunteer work. And I was recently retired, so I said, yeah.
That's very cool.
Perfect.
That's very cool. Now, your research with him involved what exactly? Can you explain that?
Yeah. Well, people send their experience in to the NDEs.
Okay.
And there are I think there's over 48,000 now there.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's everything you want to learn about NDEs is there. So anyway, and so people would send in their experiences, but then after they had written out what had happened to them, then they answered a huge questionnaire, and it's really quite involved and quite detailed. And some of them would say, I already answered this 14 times.
Wow.
Anyway, and then I would take their experience and break it down to how many people saw the light and how many people saw a physical locality when they were on the other side. How many saw them?
That's cool.
Yeah. And so I just put them into different categories. And then
that's amazing.
Dr. Long, and then he used that information for his book, Evidence of the Afterlife.
Wow.
That's really cool.
So these letters that they wrote and stuff must have been amazing. I mean, to sit through and reading all these emails and stuff and what they experienced. I mean, that's just, I can't imagine.
Well, when I first started I was interested in what happened to people, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, I got so taken with the deeper messages and the learning that was involved, which we just outlined. And I was just so fascinated. That's where my interest was. And that's what my books are about.
Wow. That is, now you have one or two books?
Well, the book that we're dealing with today is the second edition of The Wonder of You.
And that's what it's called?
Yes, it's called The Wonder of You, What the Near-Death Experience Tells You About Yourself. But I put a lot of, it changed. I added a whole bunch of information into the second edition. So it's not a duplicate.
Wow. Awesome. That's really cool. Now, Let's go into a few things with this. Like people when they're talking about what happens after they die. How many people were actually concerned with, let's break it down. I mean, were there a large percentage? I know we can't get an actual figure, but how many? I mean, was there a lot of people that worried that they had to go to, like, when they died, they went to hell or heaven, or like to some other plane where they had to wait, or what was the feeling with these people?
Most people, when they passed from this life to the next, first of all, they may have known they would die in, but they were so involved with thinking about saving themselves or not that they didn't stop to think about what was going to happen next. And then when they did actually die, it was so smooth. It was like, I don't know, like silk, just one minute they were in their body and the next minute they were out. And that was it. And then when they were out, they what's going on? Kind of attitude. And they were filled with this feeling, most people, not all, most people were filled with this feeling of peace and love and just really warm, fuzzy kind of feelings. And that everything was going to be okay. Everything was fine.
Yes.
And then they would go from wherever they were after leaving their body, they would go to wherever, to their next experience. If you ask me, did some people have negative experiences? Yes, there were quite a few, but all of the negative experiences that I studied, that I saw, all were told, first of all, while they were in this hell kind of situation and trying to figure out how they could get out of this mess, every single one of them that asked, help me, get me out of here, was instantly out. Instantly, that was it. They were out of here. And then when they asked, what was that all about? What happened there? They were told that was their creation, that they
That's right.
took an active role in creating what they had experienced.
So one of the things, Lynn, that I understood as well is a lot of times this had to do with the dogmatic teachings that they had been raised with. Because especially when it came to suicides, if they felt that they were not allowed to move on because they were told that they would be in limbo, a lot of people actually felt or thought that they, and now my perspective is those that have crossed, right? Whereas you have talked with people that have moved on, have come back from that place. Whereas I speak to the ones that are there, and I tell them, look, you don't have to be here.
That's true.
And I said, this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You can change this at any time you desire. Just because you were told that as a child does not mean, or as a grown-up, it does not mean that you have to still believe this. You're creating this, and you are the one who can change it.
That's right. That's basically what I learned as well. I would agree with what you're saying, pretty much. There were one or two that had positive experiences during their death, but there weren't a lot of those.
Wow.
Interesting.
But, see, to me, that's kind of scary.
Majority, well, what do you think the majority was then, overall?
Well, I think that most of the ones that I read had just a normal death experience. They went to a place, whether it's a garden or a location, and they didn't. I'm not sure if they met their loved ones or not. I think I'm a little sketchy on that one, but they had the life review, and they were told that they could, if their body was still functioning, then they were sent back. Some of them, if they could give it, they had a choice that they could stay, but
Right.
they would have to go over and over and over their decision so that they came to a decision of not killing themselves. Or they could choose another life, but in the other life, they had the exact same elements in the next life that they had not dealt with it with this life, and they had to
Interesting.
come to a decision of dealing with it without killing themselves.
Wow,
And they were all told,
that's interesting.
and they were all told, every one of them was told that this is not a decision they had. They had a lot of decision, but killing themselves was not their choice.
Wow. Wow.
So they basically were told that they were not allowed to kill themselves. Is that
So
what you're saying?
suicide wasn't allowed, or it wasn't their choice.
Yeah, I think that's I can't see the allowed part because clearly they did do it. So
Yeah.
Right.
you know,
But it wasn't their choice. It wasn't,
that's right.
or it shouldn't have been their choice, I guess is probably
That's right.
another
Yeah.
look.
Yeah, they had to
Right, because suicides have told me that they have that moment right after they have actually crossed, and they've literally called it the oh shit moment for me.
Right.
They said, oh shit, I could have changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything would have been different had I held on.
Yeah.
And they see what they've done with their life, and they see how they have altered the reality. Because I firmly believe that you're not supposed to break your contract and take yourself out of your contract.
Yeah.
And this is the thing is I've gone through a lot of past lives of my own, and I know very well one specific lifetime where I killed myself, and I know who I am now, and I've never really dealt with depression. I've had like a week where I was literally agoraphobic, and because of that, I understood what depression was, what people understand as depression. I didn't need longer than that because I understood completely. It was just something that Spirit was teaching me. I understood being agoraphobic, and I understood depression because, you have that question, am I depressed? No, I'm not depressed. I understand the difference now. However, when I went through that lifetime, I had never felt the immense, intense amount of pain and loneliness, and and I know that I threw myself off of that castle turret and killed myself.
Yeah.
And the part that I would really like to go and see overhead, right, would be what happened to the people that I left, right? Because that really bothers me now, I guess, because I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
What did I do to them? You know what I mean?
Yes. 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 Suicide is the cruelest way to die, to kill
It
yourself.
really is.
Is so cruel. The people, all of the people who know you, are
Yes.
affected very strongly.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, 110%. Yeah.
You stop. Like, I've been sitting here, sorry, Cindy, I've been sitting here thinking about what you're saying, and it's like, I think about all these people that are being beheaded over in other countries and stuff like that, and I wonder what they're going through now,
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's much different because they're not doing it themselves, right? Their lives.
Well,
are
yeah, but
taken.
still, I mean, you have to think about that side of that,
You have to have given up hope, because people who commit suicide have given up hope. They don't see
Correct.
a way out.
Any way out.
right?
Yeah.
They really have this intense pain, and it even felt, when I went through that lifetime, it felt so much, not only in my mind but in my body. I could feel it so intensely here. It was traumatic for me in this lifetime to feel that intensity from that lifetime. It was like I understood the depths of not being able to see the light, and And perhaps that's maybe why I'm so positive and bright and believe that there's always an answer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ted.
Well, I was just going to say that, this brings me to another point, but I want you to go ahead and say what you were going to say, because before I go back to the next one.
Yeah, it's okay. Go ahead.
Well, this reminds me of one of my favorite movies of all times, Flatliners, where they killed themselves, and had their friends, revive them. But they did this because they wanted to know what actually happens when you die. And a lot of them had... I think a lot of it was guilt. It was right. It was negative stuff to where they had to forgive somebody, or somebody had to forgive you, or it was all this stuff. Now, it's one of my favorite movies because I too have always had this thought of what happens after you die. I know that some of the things that I have read in the past and have talked about is there are several different ways that people in what they believe and what happens to you. And, we know that the energy goes off somewhere, but the psychological part, the memories, the who you really are, all of that, where's it go? What does it go to another plane and become reborn? Does it, those things are all questions that I've had over the years. And some of the beliefs simply, to put it plainly, is that when you die, your soul carries off, but all that energy, the energy that's produced in there, some of it goes back to the land, some of it goes into the universe, some of it goes, here and there and everywhere. But the memories, those things, the impulses, the things that you remember, family, special trips, that special somebody, your education, where does that all go? And that's the stuff that really intrigues me,
Well, I can actually give you a little bit of information on that.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, our physical body is nothing. The minute the soul leaves the body, it disregards anything material that doesn't have any meaning. That's point one. The other thing is that it's the soul that leaves the body with the memories. Okay? But the soul is not the memories. The soul only brings the memories with it for learning and for growing and for the next life and, just preparing itself. So it brings those memories with it, but it's not, I don't know how. And another thing is, inside here and inside of you is soul. Our soul is living the body. It is not a personality. It's not ego. It's not the physical anything. It is the soul. The soul is living the body, and the soul has perpetual connection to the source. So right now, we are connected with the source. We don't realize it. We're so wrapped up in being separate, which is our role. We're supposed to be separate in this life, but we are actually soul living the life.
Right.
Oh, kind of reminds me of what was that?
Yes,
what was that movie with the blue creatures where their souls were all attached to the tree? Avatar. Yeah, Avatar.
Yes.
That's what it reminds me of.
It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. This is an Avatar.
Bill?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Blew my mind with all this stuff.
Yeah, because everything is connected, and that's what people don't understand in this lifetime. I think Avatar was one of the best ones that could show and make people understand that we are not only connected to each other, but we are connected to this earth, to Gaia, to Terra, to Earth, whatever you want to call it.
And to the animals, the trees, we're connected to everything.
Animals. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
that's where they think that there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between spirit. There's a disconnect between the earth. There's a disconnect between people. They think we're all individuals, and that is not true. That's the furthest from the truth. I think because, especially with NDEs and OOBEs, we have learned that, especially.
Look at you go, girl.
listen. You think I'm kidding when these were my areas. Like, so Lynn, one of the things that I do is I'm a past life regressionist. So when I learned about past life regression, it was only fitting and fit in with my work that I really researched NDEs and OOBEs and those things where the soul was kind of, okay, what do I do with myself? I've had this experience of death and now I'm back, but why am I back? Right? And then those others that were like, okay, I've had these out of body experiences and I don't know why I had that. Right. And sometimes it was so, what is the word that I'm looking for? It was just, it was like a quick thing. They didn't understand. Like they were here and they fell asleep and then they're in another country and they can remember everything about being in that other country. And then they came back to their body and they're like, what the hell just happened? Right. And so there were so many experiences that I had read about and how much it tied into reincarnation and how I understood things and how everything was so perfectly like interlaced with the soul, right? Yes. And it just was like one of those things that if there's a passion in my life, it's really, besides being a psychic medium, because I love absolutely what I do and my connection to spirit, but they've also taught me so much when it had to do with reincarnation and what we can do to help people fix their soul on a human level, right? Where they can try and do some work to really understand themselves in a much deeper level. And then those people that have had that near-death experiences and the out-of-body experiences, what can they learn and what is their takeaway from these kind of things? What have they learned on a spirit soul level?
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
One of the things,
Hi,
Robert. When you're talking about this whole connectedness, the big element, the very bottom line is consciousness.
Yes.
Consciousness. And
collective consciousness.
Yeah, that's what I added to this book, the second edition of The Wonder of You. And what's been added is just what we're talking about right now.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's it. So now more than ever, so many more people are talking about the collective consciousness and how we are all part of it. And I think it's great that we are now at a place and a level in our human beingness, right? That we are becoming more consciously aware of what, vibration, your soul vibration is and human vibration and all of what that entails and how, as we're talking about this, realizing that we're all interconnected and that we're all in this together, whether we realize it or not.
Yes, and that concept is going to save the world.
It really is.
Yeah, and near-death experiences are changing the world. It's just so much. It's so beautiful.
You literally are. I'm trying not to cry, to be honest. Woo! Yes, it's very. The truth has been spoken. My body is vibrating right now. I have a higher energy than a lot of people, a lot of humans, because of the work that I do with spirit. And it's just amazing that we're trying to raise everybody's vibrations to be in that same beautiful spiritual vibration of high intensity.
Yeah.
It is happening. You are absolutely, and I think it's funny because this year, 2020 needed to happen because a lot more people, like I've had people come up to me and go, Cindy, okay, I've had these weird things happening. And I'm like, what do you mean like weird things happening? In fact, one of my friends today was talking about how he was, he heard his name being called twice. He wasn't completely asleep, but he called out and said, yes, and there was nobody there answering him, but he was hearing it. And so this is the thing is that more and more people who are not in that space of mediumship or believing that they're psychic are having more and more of these psychic phenomena happening this year. But I believe that the veil has been so thin this year because we are supposed to be looking at ourselves more in-depthly and really tuning in to understanding that we are all one. And that we are all in this together, and we are all trying to raise that vibration up.
And Ted, science, you mentioned science earlier. Science
I got you, Bill.
A lot of this information from the point of view that that quantum physics and the weird things that are happening with quantum physics. Now, there are a lot of quantum scientists who don't even like the word spiritual.
Right.
No, they do
There
not.
are more of them that are starting to say, "Oh, wait a minute, what's happening here?" And
well, I think that's because with the quantum physics, they see the limitations. They see things like it has to go this way, it can't go that way, and it's kind of the way science is. Period. I mean, we know that science is not 100% factual in everything that they do or they experience or they create or they find, and it's the same with quantum physics. There are other things in this world that have been passed on and learned long before science and quantum physics even came into play. There's a lot of stuff out there. Paganism, your druids, your witches, your all these people from Eastern philosophies, they all have similarities in the way they believe the soul passes on and where it came from and where it's connected. And it's amazing to me. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the bottom line of that is love, caring for one another. You know, that whole...
It's the connection. You know, it's pretty much the connection. Knowing that they're all connected.
Word. Yeah, exactly.
4-letter word that means so much that is literally the solution to everything on earth. Everything. Love is the solution. It's the answer that we're all looking for.
Yeah. And so I find it very exciting. I'm just so thrilled that I'm alive in this point in time.
That's why I'm here. I came here this time frame knowing specifically. I've known this since I was in my 20s. I literally knew because Spirit had told me about this change that was going on, and it was an epiphany. I'm like, oh, I understand completely. This is why I'm here. I wanted to be here during this time frame. I wanted to help usher in this new way of thinking and elevate consciousness to new levels.
There's so many that are doing that. And it's
the light workers are rejoicing. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, well, see, we have to understand life, you know, our own life, too. I mean, a lot of these different things that we do in our life play a role in what happens to our afterlife, correct? I mean, we have to be, I mean, if we're a nasty person all the time, then you can't expect good things in the afterlife.
Yeah, and that goes back to what I talked about with the thoughts, that we really need to pay attention, because right now the average person thinks that they just allow their thoughts to float around and be wherever, you know. And if you ask them, what were you thinking about 15 minutes ago, they wouldn't be able to answer. But it really is vitally important for people to keep positive, because otherwise they bring all this negativity.
Cindy, I love you.
I'm doing a happy dance because I literally say that.
I know.
So this is what I say. I say that, you know, this thing is archaic to spirit. This is archaic. They do not have mouths or vocal cords or things that vibrate to speak words. They literally have a direct connection, mind to mind. And that's it. It's a mind-to-mind telepathic communication system. It is literally what quantum communication is. Mind-to-mind communication.
But the reason why we are here is to give to the source. And through that giving, we have to be separate. We have to have bodies and every single thing we do, everything, including sleeping and waking up and breathing and everything we do here cannot possibly happen at the spiritual level.
Correct, because this is the only place that we feel. In spirit, it is not the same. When we don't have a body, it is a much different experience. This is the place where we can learn, stand, grow, and and from a soul level, this is the experience we need to have.
And get back to the source while we're learning and growing. We bring our stories with us so that we can give it to the whole.
Yes, and it kind of is like a hive connection. We all understand each other, but we can make ourselves like 20,000 pieces at once if we want to. Be in the same exact place, or be the same person in 20,000 different places. Yeah. So this is what you think. When you think it as a human being, it has so much daggum power. So much power. And then when you use this archaic device, you have just magnified that power by 10, if not by 100. When you have taken this and spoken it out loud, you have just magnified and given power even more so to what you are thinking. You have to be careful what you are thinking. You have to be careful of what you're putting out to the universe.
And kids, that's called manifesting.
Absolutely.
And that's why I had to write my books. I had to get this information out. And so that's why the first book is so different from the second one, so that I could complete the information.
Yes, we have to be the disseminators of understanding and knowledge, right? Somebody has to do it.
Yeah. But there's more and more people that are getting on the line, getting into it and doing all this stuff, and good for them. I love it. I didn't realize how alive the world was until I did the research and then went online. And there's thousands of websites on this kind of thing. So stop.
Right. Well, Chanel has a comment in here. She says, often abductees say that aliens spoke with their minds.
Absolutely, they do. They don't communicate with mouths. They are archaic. People from different galaxies, they don't usually use anything like this. It's literally telepathic communication.
I have no knowledge on them. I can just... I think... I'm on the fence because a part of me says maybe there's something and maybe there's not. So I have to see for myself. But I'm very open to it if it is true.
I like what Kristen just said. She said it's like a beacon of light shining, but there are some that have. So there are some aliens that don't feel so they can't sense things like we can, so they don't understand.
They
don't
go to your environment, and how many life forms do they have on Earth? It makes sense.
I mean, we have a lot of life forms on Earth, so to think that there's no other life forms out there, that would be just really...
Absolutely.
That's crazy to think that there isn't. So
it's another story, but I do agree that there are all kinds of life out there.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that too. I mean, there's a lot of things here that you guys, that Cindy has been talking about that hit home for me, that I know, that I understand. There's a lot of things with my past and what I believe now, my faith and stuff, of how I look at things, and it differs from her and it differs from you, but that connection of us all giving to one source makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, so for everybody that's listening, you know, just kind of you're going to be able to ask some questions here shortly. So get your questions put together.
Get your questions ready, my friends.
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to make a statement that Lynn actually sent me. She goes, thoughts make or break the life we live. And I find that to be a very
I just got
cool
goosebumps all
and
over my body.
interesting statement that she makes. Because I think as a human being, we make decisions every day. And we all, like, if we go back to the Native American, let's go there for a second. They all believe that we choose our paths and we walk our paths, but know that there's forks in the road. There's ways for us to go, and we choose each and every one of them.
Yeah.
Right. We choose them. If we're unhappy with a part of our life, well, that's our fault because we chose that path. We have to understand that we are in full control. Now, I'm going to throw a little twist in here for you, folks.
Okay.
And this is something.
You got some twisties?
Yes, I do. Now, here's another thing that I was taught a long time ago. That your dreams not only, you know, cycle through what you went through that day, that week, you know, whatever. They also project a path. They also can give you a hint of where you're supposed to be going, or what you're supposed to be doing, or it's laying things out for you. So your dreams, your soul, your mind, all of this stuff is connected. So we have these choices. We make these decisions. And it's like a guy pulling a gun on a store clerk. That guy made that choice. It wasn't because of his upbringing. It wasn't because of the drugs. It wasn't because of anything else. He made that decision.
That's right.
And he has to live with the consequences of his life with that. So, Bill David says, wow, 100%, Lynn. There you go. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, thing about aliens, I believe that the connection that oneness that we're talking about is universal, completely throughout the whole universe. And so we would be connected with life on the other planets as well.
I just realized that I don't even have my Ethernet plugged in.
Uh-oh.
I just realized that. Oh, Lord, have mercy. It's all right.
All right, so
I haven't been pixelated or anything, right?
No, there was one time that you kind of frozen for a second, but...
Oh, yeah, but I was literally... I was probably on Facebook at that point doing some work there to do on here. Yeah.
You're good now. Yep, no problem. I see you. You're fine. You're not invisible.
How can you not see me, Teddy Poo Poo?
All right, so Chanel says, I am not afraid. Chanel says, I am not afraid of dying. Living scares me more. I have seen too much, felt too much, and I am tired of the humans on this planet. That's negative, you know, but at the same...
saying that.
Right, but here's the other thing, is like I don't care for the way humans treat humans either. It's not good. I don't like it. We should be, as Cindy says, we should be projecting love. We should learn to love ourselves and then love everybody else. And as the great RuPaul says, how can you love anybody else if you don't love yourself? So it's true. So if love is the answer, then we have to learn to get past some of this other stuff and take control of our lives. We have to realize that putting one foot in front of the other towards a positive path.
Just put one foot in front of the other.
It might take a little effort in the beginning, but you're right.
Yeah.
You know, we just, after a period of time, you get on top of it.
Now, you made a statement that that you sent me with the information on the bio that you wanted to explain to people that when you die, you don't go to hell.
No.
And what's funny about that, well, not funny, but what's interesting about that is Cindy and I are both pagans, and we don't believe in hell. It has no existence in our world.
I believe that if there was something that could be classified as hell, this plane of existence is where it is.
Right.
This is the only place that we can feel pain.
But that's only because we choose to make it that way. We can choose. And that's the message.
You know what this reminds me of is when I was doing dream interpretation and learning about dreams way back when I was a young pup. All that stuff was dreams. Like we have control of our dreams. Like some of the case studies that I've worked on with dream interpretation was when people had nightmares, they couldn't get out of their nightmares. They didn't know how. And it's because they didn't realize that they had the control, that they were in control of their dreams and they could change them.
Yeah.
And it's the same way in life. You make these decisions. So if you don't want this, then change it. Right? Come on, people.
That's right. Give us 3 snaps.
Okay, Chanel's in there again. She's like, doesn't make it not real. I give love. No one can say I don't, but I can't make others do it. You can't make other people love. But what you can do, and this is the simplest thing in the world that you can do, and I've seen it 100 times, and there's actually 2 things you can do. One, when you walk by somebody, smile. It will change their mood. It will change their attitude, unless they're really, really grumpy, and then you have to stop and give them a hug, and then they'll feel better. And if you get punched...
Not during COVID, though, however. You'll get punched,
that's true.
Definitely. Dang it, COVID.
Go ahead.
I'm done. Go
I was going
ahead.
to say that before I retired, I was a counselor. And when I ran across people who were depressed, one of the things I would tell them to do is to go out and do something nice for other people.
Yes.
Depression like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
because,
I have.
When
I have
you're
depression.
in service to others, it just
Yeah.
creates that altruistic atmosphere and
Yeah.
feeling within oneself.
Yep. See, I've been dealing with depression and anxiety
True
for a long
altruism.
time. And for me, what helped me with the depression and anxiety was, believe it or not, working with plants, working with trees, being out in nature. I love to cook. I love to bake. I love to do things to make other people happy. And the same with, like, the animals in the earth. And I love playing in the dirt, and it helps with my depression and anxiety. Singing helps me. Things that I love help me. And so for me, you just take that stuff and you do the best you can with it,
But you see, I don't think that most people understand that their thoughts directly affect the decisions that they make. I don't think they get the connection. It's just they take facts and make the decision, but they don't stop and think about how they're looking at those facts.
Right. I think some of the other things that affect that, though, Lynn, is the fact that our society, our environment, teaches us to be certain ways. So unless you're a free thinker and you can get away from that collective and realize that our life is our own, then we kind of fall into that little rat race in society. So unless you find a way to step outside it.
No. But this is where this is where your thinking is a little askew, and I'll say it this way: when one works on themselves and creates that love within themselves, loves themselves so god dang in the mirror and say, "Fucking love you." What you don't understand is that when you have internalized that love and you can exude that love, you are bringing up the collective. You are putting the love out there. When you love yourself, you are doing
you're manifesting the
what
love.
needs to be,
I get it.
It's mirroring for everybody else.
I know. And you're right.
You're right.
Go ahead, Ted.
But the way society and our environment teaches us, they throw us in this rat race, and sometimes you get put into a spot like, okay, I know people that are working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day right now, and they don't have time to think about loving themselves or making somebody else smile and this and that. And that's because they fall in that rat race, and they just can't get out of it to see that there's more to life than that. And we choose to be happy or sad or depressed or to rob a store or to grow flowers or to, I don't know, paint the world. I mean, we make these choices. And if you can't see above or outside or through the rat race, the society that's built out there that pushes us every single day, then unfortunately you do fall within that. And that's scary, because we have to understand that we're individual, we are a collective, like a beehive type thing or a hive mind, and we're connected to that source. So there's these things that we have to think about. And if we don't take 5 minutes a day, well, that's all you really need, is to sit down and think about where your life is and what you want to do today, and make it a little different than what it was yesterday, and maybe a little more positive, more love, more shining of the sun, or whatever you want to call it. That's what affects us. That's what we can do to change our lives.
There's some individuals who have never had love, have never experienced love, and don't even know what you're talking about, because they've been criticized or put under or whatever. And so you can't possibly expect them to walk in and say, okay, I love myself, because they don't even know what you're talking about.
Right. And that's because of what their environment has put them there. And unfortunately, they don't know how to get out of that or above it, to rise above that environment. And that's why so many people are screwed up. I mean, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, it's our commercial system too, because we have ads, advertisement and commercials coming at us all the time, telling us we don't measure up. We're not
right.
We need to have their product to be able to measure up. And
right. Well,
this is not true.
This is the thing. No, it's not true. We need to be teaching our children from.
We're brainwashed to think that we need to have 2 cars and a house and blah, 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 blah. Otherwise, we're not there.
Right.
We're not good enough. We haven't made it successfly in our
lives.
I
keep up with the Joneses, damn it.
You don't need to, though.
I know.
Fuck the Joneses.
They're my friends now.
Lynn, I have a bad mouth. I have a trucker's mouth. And Jesus is okay with it. I just want everybody to know. And Venus and Hecate and all my goddesses and gods that are around, they're okay with it.
Well, I want our people in the chat room to get their questions together, because we're going to be doing that real soon. We are going to run a real quick commercial, so I don't want anybody to go anywhere. So get your questions together for Lynn, and we'll be right back. Check out this little background.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
All right, so we are back. We have been sitting down. We are talking with Lynn Russell. We are talking to her about our past lives, like basically where we go when we die, the whole lives. Everything, like what happens when we die, and what we can do to change certain things in our living life right now for when we pass. and what is out there and what we should be believing and how to change some of that. And little Miss Psychic Cindy here, she's in her glory tonight, which I love. Lynn was her present tonight.
Yes, Teddy keeps giving me presents. I'm so happy.
So, guys, I want you to get your questions together for Lynn. I know that you guys have some out there. Don't be afraid to ask. Just put them right there in the chat room, and then we will ask for you. No problem. So,
no problema.
That's right. So, Lynn, I'm going to ask you, what about people that say this is all hooply-ha? This is like, it's not real. That the soul isn't like this, or what happens. I mean, we just die, we just poof, we're invisible, and that's it. So, what do you say to people?
That's so sad.
That's so sad.
It's not so fun if you think about it spiritually, but anyway, I don't think that's the answer you're looking for.
Well, that's okay. But what would you tell somebody that doubted this? Do you have anything for doubters?
It depends on how open they are to hearing other kinds of statements, because some people are just, that's the way it is, and I don't want to discuss it.
Shut up.
But if they're open, then I might ask them why, where are they coming from, what are they hoping for, what do they think does happen? Those are the questions that I would ask, and try and help them to understand.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Bill, I have a couple questions coming. Well, I was going to do Barry too.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's get Barry first. Sorry. Okay, there's Barry. So, do you want to read these, Cindy, or you want me to do it?
Sure, I can. So, okay. Many folks want to create a rat race for society. What do we gain from doing this? Why do some folks get pleasure in doing this? I have great answers. I want to hear yours, Lynn.
Do you? All right. Well, my answer is that we don't want, that we are told to want, that this is something that we've been brainwashed to think that it should be, but that actually one of the things about sales is an element of fear. You feel like if you don't, you're going to be left behind, or you're not going to be with it, or whatever the thing is. And that's the message that you're getting. And so fear is a very basic instinctual. And so you have to fix that, because we're very negatively oriented. We look more to the negative than we do the positive. So we really want to fix that. And so we get, because they tell us that if we get the right things, we're going to be there.
Right. It's like that. It's like that. The dog races where they have the rabbit, and the dog is forever running and chasing after the rabbit. Well, here's your XYZ. If you just follow me, you're going to get this, and it's going to be wonderful. Yeah. Well, that's not the truth, and some people need to have that power over other people, but it's all a facade. It's all fake control when we think about it.
Absolutely.
And however, that's how it's been for millennia. Where the church used to try and try to control us with our beliefs, and the politicians try to control us with our beliefs and
fear factor.
Yeah.
It is, and that's what I was going to bring it all down to. We could call it fear, but what it comes down to is ego. Ego is in control. Once you step out of ego and you really start listening to your own intuition, and you start opening your mind, and you make that connection with spirit again. And this is my favorite, because this is what I slap on people. Hashtag GTFOOE. Get the fuck out of ego.
All right.
That's what it comes down to, Barry. That's really what it comes down to.
Okay, let's go to Bill Davis. Do we make our own heaven or hell depending on what we believe?
Yes. Yes, because thoughts are so important. So that's true here in this
I agree.
instance. When we pass over, we may wind up in a hell situation, but if we don't want to be there, all we have to do is ask, and we're removed immediately. I have not read one single person who has not been removed when they've asked for it. So yes, we do, by our thoughts and by our outlooks and by how we accept and not change things, because some things need to be changed. So our complacency also helps to make things difficult.
A lot of times I've had a lot of suicides that have come to me, and number one, I've had them come as spiky energy. I've had them come as very reserved and far away feeling, because they've been told that they're not allowed to. They were told before, by their beliefs, that they are not allowed to be in a good place. They're not allowed to. They're going to forever roam this place and try to make amends for them killing themselves, right? So now they have to be forever indebted to the people they've left behind, right? So they believe they have to forever be apologizing to them, and none of these things are true. If they believe that they don't deserve this and they need to move on, and that they're understanding that their actions led them to where they are, and accepting of that, then they can move on. But the thing is they usually go right back into another body.
That's right.
I truly
Thanks,
believe.
Barry.
I truly believe that this is something I've always thought, is that we choose, we decide, we make our own destiny, we decide where we're going, where we've been. The future is ours. We
don't accept. You're right. Absolutely.
Right. Yeah. I mean, our future is ours. We decide where we want to go and what we want to do.
Right.
And we can make the best of it, or we can, I don't know, cuddle up in a corner and stay there for the rest of your life and never experience anything. And I think that's the wrong way to go. And especially if we're bringing it back to a collective, I think what we're supposed to be doing is living. What we're supposed to be doing is experiencing. We're supposed to be. We're not supposed. It's one of the simplest things to explain this to the way I think is. A lot of us think like this, like right straight in front of us. We experience right straight in front of us. We never view.
Horse with the blinders on.
Yeah, we don't view the wide lens. We don't see the beauty and all the other stuff that's there. We don't experience that stuff because we're told, you can't do that. Don't do that. It's wrong. It's morally wrong. It's religiously wrong. It's blah, blah, blah. But it's not. Life gives you all of this wide lens, all this wide things to experience, and you're the one that chooses not to do it. But the option is always there. We aren't supposed to be limiting ourselves for anything. And if the collective says, hey, we're returning there, I want you to experience life, I want you to go and live your life to the fullest, then that's what we should be doing. Right?
Right. And that is what we're told to do. But there's 2 points I want to make with what you're talking about. First of all, most people believe that life happens to them. And it's up to them to react to it as it is. Okay.
Right.
So they don't realize that they have an active role in correcting or changing it.
The control, they're the ones that decide. To think that, hey, I have this comment that I make all the time. Life gets in the way. And I actually started writing a song called that, Life Gets in the Way. And it's all about all these things that are thrown at us at every second of the day. And we decide, right, but we decide, nope, I'm throwing that one away, that one away, that one away, that one. Like Pokemon,
Eric.
and you decide what you want to do. Life isn't something we have to deal with. Life is something we live. It's something we experience.
But those curveballs give us, they give us sometimes the spice. They give us the knowledge. We learn so much from those curveballs most of the time. And a lot of times, those curveballs happen because you are not listening to Spirit in the first place.
And you're not living your life to the way you should.
I say
I'm sorry, Lynn.
that the curveballs happen in order for us to learn and grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention about the blinders.
Yes.
Yes.
I have found in my years that people, when they finish school, they walk away and that's the end. Then they get the job and then they do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's protection. I think it's if I look here or I look there, I don't know what I'm going to get. I know what this is. And so this is my safety zone. And and their experiences prior to that is that it's been negative, and they're a little afraid to look elsewhere.
I can understand that.
Yeah, I want to. Yeah, okay.
Well, Eric just made a statement. He says we don't change a species once we go through a hardship, and it's true. We don't.
No.
But this is the thing: is because we are the collective, because we are all experiencing and growing, and once we have gone through and learned, and we can send that to the collective, we are growing as a species. That's because we believe that there's such a disconnect, right? Because we are trained to believe that spirit is there, that it's not in here, because it's out there, there's a disconnect.
Yep.
But the thing is once you know and understand that this spiritual being is part of this spiritual being, which is one, that this spiritual being is all together, then we do change the species. Right now, we are elevating our vibration.
Yes, but
this collective conscious. No, it doesn't. This is taken forever already. And we've had civilizations that have learned this and who have fallen, right? It's not that we haven't learned it. It's just that those people, places have chosen to move on to the next spiritual plane of existence, right?
Yeah. I agree. I mean, as I said earlier, I think near-death experiences are changing the world. And not just that, because it started back in the 60s, before near-death experiences were even heard of. When the Beatles were going to the ashrams and people were opening themselves up to another way of seeing. So the historical.
Yeah. And one of the things I was going to bring up is I don't know if anybody has read the book Siddhartha. Siddhartha was all about, he always said, okay, I'm a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being. I'm a spiritual being. Well, the problem is what Spirit finally was saying, but what have you learned as a being?
Mm-hmm.
And then he realized that all of this journey as a human being was the spiritual journey.
That's right.
And sometimes you just have to remember that it's in those beautiful, ugly, chaotic, crazy moments. And the things that you've learned, those are part of those bigger moments that you have put in. And that's part of the spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah.
Barry puts it in here. He says, I get thrown with crazy and what I would call propaganda emails at work almost every day. Such a distraction, and it doesn't help to serve the customer. So,
right.
That's the way society is with things. That's this whole, sometimes, like, it's those curveballs. I mean, they get thrown out there, and it's like whitewashing. It's like brainwashing. It's like, it's all this stuff that happens, like Lynn was saying, is we get pushed, the stuff gets pushed on us all the time to tell us we need to do this, or we need to be like that, or blah, blah, blah. And that's what takes us away from being ourselves, our individualism, our love, our happiness, our everything that's, in one little ball that's connected to the source. I mean, we have to be an individual. We have to see life and feel life and love life and experience it with everything that we have, and touch somebody else too, so that they understand. I think when people have as I was talking with like flatliners, when you have a near-death experience, there are plenty of people that come back saying, oh my gosh, I got a second chance to change this. I got a second chance to fix this. Now I know, I have to say this, I need to do this. And it was because of something that they had deep down inside that was either a regret or a pain or something that they didn't think they were going to have time to do. So they start living their life differently. They start making these changes.
Yes.
And so this near-death experience woke them up.
Yes, very much so.
And this is what's amazing. We shouldn't have to have a near-death experience to understand that we are supposed to be living our lives, experiencing, loving.
Yeah.
But some people will never know and understand that until they go through a situation like that. Unfortunately.
I think, as I said earlier, that first of all, we are so separate. Every single thing we do is
divided even.
Spirit. And so I think that's deliberate. I think that we are here as physical, material beings to have different kinds of experiences that we can take back with us and share.
Yeah.
So I think that's a given.
Yeah, I was actually thinking something and I lost it. It was on the tip of my tongue and
how about if I share my out-of-body experience?
Okay.
Go for it.
So I travel a lot, and I know that. I shapeshift. I have traveled in spirit. When I sleep, when I'm awake, I can travel.
Most of the time it's sleeping for me.
So my uncle is one of the first beings after I understood what I did, because I was told that I was a medium. One of the first people that came to me was my Uncle Frank, who had passed away when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
And Uncle Frank was there for me, and he was very much a constant in those early years. And my Uncle Frank actually took me to the other side. And there was it really is like a veil to me. Like how we perceive things. Like we could say, oh, it's, the pearly gates and, St. Peter's there. But it just felt like there was something here, a veil. And I could feel everything. I could feel everything that if I had crossed through, it would be even more so, right? What I had felt was the most amazing feeling, that there's no human words that I can put into it that would make other people explain it. I could say love and compassion and trust, and I could say all these words, but it still does not encompass the feeling that I had. And it was the most amazing feeling. And my uncle said, you can come to the other side. You can feel and experience what it is here. And I made a specific decision not to go any further, because I told him I didn't want to miss this, because I knew I would. It would be one of those things that I would be that dog chasing that rabbit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to miss that. It would be like when I had been in that lifetime and I just felt that emptiness so much, that all-consuming, that's how I can relate it now, is if I had stepped even farther into that realm, I would have been forever trying to recreate that in this life. And I didn't want to. I knew what I needed to know and feel the amazing and the beautiful, right? Without going to the other side.
That's one of the issues for people who have had death experiences. and come back, is that they long to be back there because
Yes. I could understand when I had read that. I didn't quite fully understand it. I understand. We could, as researchers, wrap our head around it. Like we could go, "Oh, I understand that," but it wasn't until that moment that my uncle took me there, and then I'm like, "God dang it! I understand them so perfectly well. I understand exactly because you know what? It was the most I'd ever felt loved. I've never felt loved the way that I felt then. And that's...
One lady said it was like every cell in her body was caressed with love.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
It's not just even caressed. It's like singing. Every cell vibrates love. And I if you've never felt love as intensely as that, you would never understand it in this realm of existence because it is the most amazing feeling.
And that's where the word heaven comes from, because that's what people think. I mean, it's everything you just explained. So some people's heaven is that. That's what they're looking forward to when they pass.
Or
is that
Summerlands.
Yeah, I mean, there's...
Hey, Michelle Millions, how are you?
Hey, Michelle. Elysium. I mean, it's one of those places that it's like heaven. It's different for everybody, though. It's not always the same, the way they perceive it. But, I mean, it could be walking in a field of poppies. It could be, it could be a fat kid running after a donut downhill. I mean, it could be anything.
Yes,
it's just,
it's just one piece. If you have just one piece, and this is the piece, it's having gratitude for each of these moments.
Yes.
If you have gratitude for the pain, if you have gratitude for the suffering, if you have gratitude for the happy and the sad, if you have gratitude, what nobody seems to realize, and I shouldn't say nobody, the collective, for the most part in the collective, they don't understand the implications of gratitude. Just having gratitude one time a day, having gratitude and really just reflecting on something that they have gratitude, it explodes from them and shines to the universe, and the universe brings it back to us. Now imagine if you did that 3 times a day. Imagine if you did it 5 times a day. Imagine if you did it 10 times a day. Even if it's just looking in the mirror and going, God damn it, thank you for you. Right? It's the truth, people. It's the truth, though, right?
Cindy, you kill me. You slay me, because here I am listening to you, and I'm trying not to make a funny out of it, but it is. It's humorous. It's because that's the way my mind works. You know that. It's.
Me too.
I'm listening to you, and all of a sudden your image changed. I saw you with flower power, the peace sign, all of these,
hippie.
The hippie, all this hippie stuff.
Hippie.
And I'm just like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. That's why I smirked at one point. I'm like, oh, Ted, stop.
No, but
I love it because
it's the truth. Because we really just need to empower ourselves in these small little ways. Because people think it's so. When they think, I have to become spiritual. What? And they think it's crazy, I have to have a near-death experience or an out-of-body experience to have these things. No, just fucking be grateful. I have water that's in a bottle. Do you know how privileged we are to have this in the world? God damn it, I'm grateful for this goddamn bottle of water.
Yeah, because there's countries that don't have clean water.
Absolutely. They don't have clean water, and they don't have it readily available in a store that I can go travel to.
Right.
I am grateful for this bottle of water, because it means so much to me. I'm grateful that I have this connection. I'm grateful that I have people that I can communicate with that are on an intellectual space and place, and we can have these discussions. There are so many people that aren't even afforded to be able to speak their truth. I am grateful that I can speak my truth. And if nobody else likes what I have to say, well, then fuck them. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you know what, Cindy? I'm grateful for you. I am grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too, Teddy Poo Poo. And I'm grateful for Lynn.
So am I. She's
my present. Thank you for my present of Lynn.
You're welcome.
Oh,
You're welcome.
God dang it, I love it.
You know, she's amazing, and we have to get a hold of her book because I really want to read her book.
I do.
And you know, I think that people need to understand that, and this is something I've always lived with my whole life, is that, and my grandmother told me this before she passed, is that you have to touch one life a day. And what that means is that love, make somebody smile, give somebody a reason to feel better about themselves, you know, and that's only going to help turn things, you know. It's one of those things, and we all have control.
It's also just this. Yes, but it's also the small things. We don't realize. We think we have to do these huge things, and now we have to go out and save the world. For God's sakes, how am I going to do that? And it's not about saving the world. You know what? I see
one
it.
Person.
I think sometimes as a mother, we think as moms that we are not getting through to our children. But you know what? My greatest joy is when my boys are talking to their friends as they're gaming. When they're gaming and they say something that has been directly quoted from their mother, it just brings me this intense amount of joy, and immediately I literally say, thank you. Because they are listening, right? And if my children can listen to me and pass it on to somebody else of their peers, I've just not only hit one person, but now I've hit two people, right?
Right.
And that is amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Jet Maximilian! My son just came and got his melatonin without me telling him in approximately the time he's supposed to. He just did what I just was talking about. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, God dang it.
See, Lynn, you got a surprise too. You didn't know that Cindy was like this.
She's the entertainment.
I am the entertainment.
She's like, we're like Ted and Cindy. It's like I don't know. That's why our show works, because we're
opposites, right? Teddy's
in some sense.
Teddy's the Capricorn, the earth sign, and I am the Aries fire. Poof!
Yeah.
I am the passion.
I'm the one that tries to keep her grounded.
He tries. I will give you that. I'm grateful for you trying to ground me. It's a tough job.
Oh, I know. Trust me, how many years now?
Right,
but,
yes.
Yes, but, we're running out of time, unfortunately, but, I want to say, Lynn, this has been amazing. I mean, this is one of my favorite shows so far that we've done. Because I love seeing Cindy smile, and I love the interaction and all the things that you brought to the table that we talked about. So, I'm not. I'll cry for you. No, and it's been a great interview. It's been a great show tonight, and I'm so glad.
You have been a light in my day, Lynn. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Look at Lynn touch somebody. You.
Yes, of course she did.
I hope we touched them.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yes,
I'm sure.
I'm certain that we have, if there's one thought that they could come away with, and it even if it's just that they need to smile to each other and at each other and for each other, and And then they know that they've touched somebody else in just such a simplistic way, right?
Right.
I literally, that's one of my things is I put smile. That's what I do. Put it out there and I say smile because you never know.
I know, because I sent her a ghost emoji earlier and she sent me back like 2 lines of emojis of different things. I'm like, all you needed was one. But like Chanel put here, so Cindy should come with a warning label or a public announcement. At least it says super positive with a dash of trucker.
Yes! That is oh my God! That needs to be my new logo, my new whatever it's called, right? Super positive with a hint of trucker. My father was a trucker. I come by it naturally. He really was. I'm not lying.
Right. Well, Lynn, this has all been fantastic, and I can't wait to get a hold of your book and read it. And thank you so much for coming here.
Go and buy Lynn's book. Teddy, can you put that back up for everybody?
Yeah, we'll put that back up, the banner up again.
Yes.
It's called The Wonder of You, What the Near-Death Experiences Tells You About Yourself. It's the book by Lynn Russell. Please go out, find it. It's available on Amazon, Lynn? Yes. So Amazon and everywhere, basically.
Lynn?
I have a website, so...
cool.
I was just going to say that myself.
Let me put it in there.
LynnKRussell.com, right?
Yep.
LynnKRussell.com?
Yep.
I was just going to tell him that. I'm like, Teddy, you need to put up her website, too. Are you on the social medias?
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure to spend time with both of you. Thank you very much.
Well, you
are you on Facebook and are you on the social medias?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on.
That's how I found her, was LinkedIn.
I can't figure out how to work Instagram. So I'm trying to talk.
Oh, Chanel said she's already ordered your book, Lynn.
Great. That's perfect.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Perfect. Hey, Fireballs! That's Fireball is Cindy. How are you, Cindy?
Super positive with a hint of trucker. She loves it. And Barry says this has been a truly inspirational show with Lynn Russell.
Yes, I agree.
That is awesome.
Thank
you. Yay.
Lynn, you have been a light tonight for me. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go find you on LinkedIn and I'll friend you.
Okay. All right.
Cool. All right. Wow, this has been amazing. Cindy, what do you got coming up this week?
Holy cow, what do I have coming up? I get to see my bestie. She's in from Arizona. We are going to social distance because she's in from Arizona. Let's see. We're going to get together and have a pre-Samhain celebration. Woo!
Awesome.
And I am going to do that after I do my Tarot Tuesday. We all know I have Tarot Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and on, I was going to say Instagram. It's not on Instagram yet, but I want it to be. Facebook, Psychic Cindy, and on the Use of Tubis. YouTube is The Psychic Cindy. And Wednesdays, I do 2 questions for $15. You can message me, personal message me on Instagram, The Psychic Cindy. You can do it on Facebook, Psychic Cindy, or I think and if you're on YouTube, you can just email me at thepsychiccindy@gmail.com. And then on Thursday, we all know that I have my Just Cindy podcast, and I am so going to use that. Oh my gosh. Chanel, I need you to send that to me in my messenger, please, so I don't forget it, because I love it so much. What did she say? Something about positivity and a hint of trucker.
Also, I wanted to say to you, Cindy, that we have been approached by, it's called the RadioManCave.com. They would like us to do... they would like Paratalk Radio to join them on a show.
Yay! That would be fun! fun.
Yeah, so they're going to interview us right now. I'm setting up the date and time, and then we'll go from there. So I want to kind of get that out there so that you know.
That's awesome.
Tomorrow night, guys, for Talk with Teddy is going to be a little strange and a little different because we're not going to do the norm. Teddy, believe it or not, has decided to do a spooky watch party night tomorrow night for Talk with Teddy. We're going to watch a movie together.
What are you going to watch?
I'm not telling. So, tomorrow night for Talk with Teddy, we are going to be watching a movie together. I just got to make sure...
1 second. Fireball, Bill is on Facebook.
I just have to figure out how to make this work the way, so I'm going to be working on it. So, but that's the plan for tomorrow night. I did not have a guest lined up, so I figured, you know what?
That's perfect.
I think we could do
Teddy and a movie.
Yeah, we could do a movie.
Teddy and a movie. Teddy
and
and a movie.
I really wanted to go back and bring one of my
PJ
movies.
Party.
There you go. I wanted to bring back My Deadly Friend. That's the one I wanted to watch for tomorrow night, but I couldn't get it.
That was an 80s scary flick.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. But I couldn't. I couldn't
Happy
get that to work.
Birthday.
But
That was a creepy one. That was with Melissa Sue. You know, she was from Little House on the Prairie as Mary.
Yeah.
Melissa Sue. I can't think of her name now. Oh my gosh, I can't believe myself right
Gilbert's the other one though, right?
now. Melissa Gilbert was the younger of the two. She played Laura Ingalls, and Mary Ingalls was played by Melissa Sue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh shit! Chanel's got some good Halloween stuff.
Cool.
I need to come, Chanel. I'm going to come and hit you up right when we're done, okay? Well, after Teddy and I talk.
Right. So Tuesday night,
out.
like I said, so Talk with Teddy is going to be a movie night.
I'm excited.
We're going to be watching a movie. So
PJs, flashlights, popcorn.
Melissa Sue Andrews. Melissa Sue
Anderson. No, Melissa Sue Anderson. But yes, close, Chanel. As soon as you said Andrews, I knew it. Melissa Sue Anderson.
But yeah, so that's my plan for tomorrow night for Talk with Teddy. Saturday was supposed to be the WLFE Family Feud night.
No, I saw that. We're probably not going to be able to.
It's probably not going to happen. So we'll plan it for another time, or we can get everybody together. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's not going to happen.
That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. So we're going to have some fun. So that's what I have, guys, and then. I guess that's pretty much it. We'll see everybody next Monday. Next Monday, our guest. Let me get that.
What are we doing next Monday? Yes, tell us.
I forgot about this.
Oh, is it good? I'm so excited. I'm dying now. You got me on my edge of my seat.
We are talking about exorcisms on Monday.
What? Stop it.
We are bringing Archbishop James Cloud back. We haven't had him in 2 years, and he is finally coming back to join us, and we're going to talk about exorcisms and all of that stuff. Perfect for Halloween for Monday night. So make sure you guys tune in Monday night while we have James Cloud, the Archbishop. I can't say it, Archbishop here. So that's going to be awesome. And I've been being festive, so... Nellie Olson.
I love that. And yes, Nellie Olson is reading the books on her podcast. That's amazing.
Cool.
I love that. Cool. But I love your background, and I need to change mine for the spirit of Halloween. I need to get my...
I just wanted something different.
Yeah. I love it.
All right,
I love it. It looks fantastic.
So you hang around?
Where did you find those? I need them in my life. Where'd you
Dollar
find
store.
That? Hocus Pocus. What?
Dollar store. They all came from the dollar store.
I need to go get that Hocus Pocus one right now. I need it in my life.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch like that. There was one that said the Virgin lit the black flame candle. That was great. But I like this one better. So, all right, guys, we're gonna.
This is a surprise too for me, actually. So in this bag, I have 4 new oracle decks.
Nice.
I'm dying to open them.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get out of here, so hang tight. Hang tight, everybody. Or see you Monday, everybody. Cindy, you hang tight.
Bye, guys. You got to say it. You got to say it,
yeah.
What is he doing?
I forget. Wherever there is darkness, there's always
the light.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.